Imagine for a moment that there is a space between the moment you wake up and the first thought that you have. It's a space ripe with possibility, when the body is just that little bit ahead of the mind. It's a peaceful, clear, wide open space, a visceral place where words and time don't exist and feeling and instinct reside. But as the mind starts to wake up, that very same space begins to fill with that first thought. And that first thought leads to the next action that you will take and the subsequent thoughts that you generate about those thoughts themselves, scaling them, rating them, evaluating them, fighting them, suppressing them, and so it goes. The brain has been aroused and, like a bottle of milk that's been tipped over, the thoughts come rushing in, spilling over, uncontained, before you've even set your foot on the floor. Once again, you're back in the race, unwarmed up, already behind, and still needing to clean up the mess. Sound familiar? Operating this way is the perfect recipe for overwhelm. It's living a life fueled by the limited, unsustainable energy of stress. Not to mention the energy you spend stressing about the mess, not being able to clean it up, and ultimately assigning the word to who you are by calling yourself a mess, and so on. You get the idea. So, what do we do about it? Well, let's first take a look at what mess means to you. How do you define messy? Think about it. Where did you learn that definition? Does your current mess really need to be cleaned up? And if so, why? Why is that important to you? Who decides what's messy or messed up? Did you know that Albert Einstein was reported to have been a very messy person? In response to criticism of his work habits, he asked, "If a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, then what are we to think of an empty desk?" Touché. But it isn't about whether or not you're tidy or messy in your external world. That's not what we're talking about. It's the thought messiness that most affects us and makes it difficult to process and focus. A cluttered mind is disrupting, and it hinders our productivity, balance, and ultimately our mental health. Remember that space we imagined between the moment we wake up and the first thought that we have? That first thought is one of the most pivotal thoughts we have because it sets the course of our day. Just knowing that can be a superpower. Pre-programmed default thoughts and limiting beliefs will rush into that space, like that bottle of spilled milk we talked about, as the mind wakes up vigilantly trying to protect you from failing, filling the space with thoughts and lies to motivate you, like, "You're already behind, you are lazy, work harder, and you're a mess," using any means necessary to scare you into action. That is where you can be ready for those energy-draining, counterproductive thoughts by having an alternate first thought that sets you up for a successful and energized day. Take a moment right now and think about what that thought might be. What's a thought that might serve you better than the ones that rush in just automatically? Practice that. Practice that thought. You don't need fear to motivate you. Like a ninja warrior, your strength is in your lack of fear. And it is that which provides you with the determination and strength you need to operate at your highest potential. Oh, and regarding the mess part, tidy or messy, who cares? That proverbial bottle of spilt milk that we race to clean up is the very same one that the cat laps up, capitalizing on its good fortune. And fun fact, while the exact origin of the idiom "don't cry over spilt milk" isn't exactly known, apparently it's quite likely to have come from fairy lore. Whenever milk was spilled, it was considered to be nothing more than a little extra offering to the fairies and nothing to worry about. I'm Lisa Hopkins. Thanks so much for listening. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and remember to live in the moment.